Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're a creative agency. We've been around for a little over 11 years. So we started in 2003. We've got 4 offices. We've got an office in London, in the UK, in Lyon, France, Montreal, Canada, and Los Angeles. We work mostly on design projects, video projects, and web campaigns. So one of the things that I think is special about Takeoff is, well, actually there's 2 things that I think are a bit special. The first is we have a very intensely collaborative process. And the second is we have what I call a global pipeline. And what that means is on any given brief, when the customers send us a brief, the proposals that are generated from that brief might come, and most often do come, from 4 different countries. So you'll have a person in the UK, a person in France, a person in Canada, and the person in the US, all doing their own proposals, which will combine at the end and deliver to the customer. And I think that adds a really nice, diverse cultural aspect to the work that we do. We also have a really great team, and that probably is one of the best things that a person like me could do, is surround myself with talented and creative people. So I think that's in a nutshell, that's Takeoff. And as I mentioned above, we do video production, but today I'm not going to talk about videos too much, but I still wanted to show you a video we made for you guys that explains to you how we make videos. So it's a video about how we make videos, okay? Here it goes.
So I heard you're looking for a live action video for your title. Sweet. Grab your concept and let's get this going. Oh, you don't have one? No worries, we're on it. First, let's meet up to discuss your needs and ideas. It may take a while, but no one's leaving until we are all on the same page. Cool. Time to research the ins and outs of your concept and let our creative team exchange ideas in our brainstorm sessions. We test our ideas to make sure they're booming. Yes. We take the time to rewrite our ideas until we're sure they fit your brand. We provide you all the need-to-know documents to make sure we're on the right track. And with an approved concept, it's finally showtime. Oh wait, not yet. There's still so much to organize. Don't panic. We take care of the schedule, logistics, budgeting, props, equipment, and as always, our casting team is ready to rock. We do our best to find perfect shooting locations, Scout's honor, and rally together a dream team production crew. Cameraman, makeup artist, pyrotech. Bit much? Okay, we'll handle the fire in post-production. Now, we're in shooting shape. Let there be action. Combining efforts with our post-production team, we dangerously cross streams to bring your trailer to the next level. Whatever your project is, and whatever the budget, Takeoff will make it happen.
Thank you. So I want to admit something to you guys. Is I wasn't so sure about giving a talk at this conference. In fact, I don't usually give talks at conferences. I was a little concerned. I felt like I was taking a bit of a risk. Maybe you guys don't really care about my little company. Or maybe you don't care about our thoughts on designing value into something. Even worse, it's the owner of the company talking. Doesn't the owner just play golf and meet with lawyers? Well, I do meet with lawyers, but I don't play golf. And actually, this subject we're about to talk about, is very important to me. It's something I think about all the time. So I hope you guys will think that it's interesting too, and that you'll like the subject. Yeah. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is the perception of value. So the value a thing has. And I want to, before I get into that, I want to tell you guys a little bit about how I got to the point where I am now. Because I realized value is a very complex but simple at the same time kind of thing. So let me just start by telling you guys a bit about myself, and then we'll get right to it. So I was born in Montreal, Canada. I'm not from Los Angeles, although I like it in Los Angeles. Canada is a really great place to live. It's just that it's a great place to live in the summer. because it's not the same kind of weather. You guys are really spoiled here with your weather. I'm from a simple family. My mom's a secretary. My dad's a maintenance guy. We're not rich, or we weren't rich, and we still aren't. And when I was starting out my professional career, I really had a low perception of the value that I personally could bring to the table. I felt kind of like I was an imposter. And yesterday, Andrew Gibbs said it really good. He said, fake it till you make it. And that's really something that I've come to agree with, and I'm glad to know I'm not alone. Even today, I still sometimes feel like, an imposter, you know? And it's okay, you know, I think that's one of the ways, it's just another way to say going for something, you know, trying as hard as you can, even if you're not 100% sure if you're going to succeed. So I agree, Andrew. I don't think anybody thought I would ever really amount to much in life. When I was younger, I dropped out of school and I started experimenting with strange substances. I worked at Burger King full-time on the night shift. When I was 16, I moved into an apartment with my girlfriend and with her friends that would steal cars, and then they would steal my stuff, and then they ended up stealing my girlfriend too. So, not a good situation. I'm not from a stable family. My parents are divorced 3 times now, so it's been a bumpy road in the family zone. But nevertheless, amidst all that, I always wanted to be a man that traveled and saw great things. Well, today I'm in Mexico. You know, that's really cool for me, so I think that's great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Monday I was in Los Angeles, which is foreign to me. I've only been there for 2 years. I think it's very exotic. And 2 weeks ago I was in Hong Kong supervising the production on one of our collector edition projects. I'm 31 years old and I own and operate 2 international advertising agencies. My team and I created a company that I'm so proud of. And when I say these things to you, I hope at least you perceive me differently than when I was telling you about how I grew up earlier. And that's really what I want to talk to you guys about today, is how to design something that will be considered very valuable by another person or a group of people, and not something that'll be considered valuable by just really amazing designers, but something that will be considered valuable by people like the guy next door, or people like me, for example. When I first started in a creative agency, I thought I knew a lot about our core market. I was a gamer. I love video games. I always played video games. I still try to, but not so much now, but I really loved video games. And today I'm going to share with you guys how I learned that everything that I thought I knew about perception of value was totally, totally wrong. If there's one thing I want you guys to remember today, it's how amazing perceived value can be compared to intrinsic value. And what I mean by that is there's a huge gap that designers can exploit between what something's really worth and what people think something is worth. So just remember that, okay? The rest is not so important, but that's the main thing, okay? Back in the day, in the US, Canada, and Western Europe at least, before you used to go to a retail store, you'd buy a game, it'd come in an average box, you know, it wouldn't be anything special. You'd come home, take the game out of the box, put the box in the drawer, play the game's finished, put the game in the box with the drawer, and that's it, it's over. Today, video games are consumed as either a perishable item or a collectible item. You can download a game on the App Store for free, for 99 cents, for $2, whatever. Play it, delete it from your phone, next, it's over. Or you can go to a retail store, or even an online retail store like Amazon, and you can buy a really expensive collectible collector's edition. I mean, we're talking like $80, $100, $120, $150, $250 that some of these collector's editions are going for. it's really changing, and it's going to change even more. And it's really in light of digital distribution that all this is happening. So ever since games are able to be distributed digitally, like on Steam or on the App Store or whatever, the retail scene is starting to get shook up. It's going slowly, but it's starting to really have a consequence on retail. And so, in my opinion, the future of retail is really that fans are ready to pay for uniqueness. That's what they're after, that's what they want. They don't want to buy a generic package that's got the same stuff that it always has had. They want something unique. Okay, so that's my take on the future. There's a few things that can happen when you're trying to design something unique. Okay, so I had an example recently. Just recently, we're doing a collector edition that I can't really tell you about, but I can tell you about the example. So we've got a brand new series, a brand new hero, a brand new franchise. Nobody knows about it. It's totally new. And the publisher wants to do a collector edition. That's a little special because who wants to get a collectible item on something that's nobody knows about? So there was a bit of an interesting challenge. So my designers came up with the idea that, hey, he's a hero. Let's make him look like a hero. So we got him, we got him with the chest puffed out, got him with the shoulders back, got the gun out, so that he looks like a hero, right? Makes sense. Nobody knows he's a hero, so let's have him look like a hero. But we realized that wasn't enough. It wasn't going to be enough. We wanted to capture this character in a moment. What kind of person is he? What type of world does he live in? How could we represent this? How could we design the hottest collector's edition for PlayStation 4 in 2014? To do this, we needed to think about 9 things. This is the first one. Is identifying with the hero. So collectors of toys or collectors of video game collector's editions want to identify themselves to a hero. When we sculpt a collector edition, we try to imagine ourselves as the hero. We try to put them in a position that makes us dream a little. And when you guys have this sculpture on your desk, the idea is for you to sit back and think, and just for a few minutes you could become Batman. You could become Ezio from Assassin's Creed. I believe that every figurine we produce has something similar to almost a soul. We sculpt by hand in clay. We don't do 3D printing. High perceived value is something that only a true artist and a true designer can achieve, in my opinion. So identifying with the hero, creating a moment. If you're a hero, are you just gonna stand around and pose for the camera? Is that really what heroes do? The idea is not just to show the 3D artist or the sculptor's skills, the modeling skills, the sculpting skills. That's important, but the thing is, the designer must place the hero in a moment that a fan can relate to. Like here, Batman, he's got the Joker, right? He's gonna teach him a lesson. I mean, he's got him. He's bigger than him, he's stronger than him. But the Joker's, he's not afraid. He's smiling, because we all know the Joker has an escape plan. He's not worried. And that makes for a moment, an exchange between the two characters. Yeah. Intangible value. So this thing is the core of what I'm trying to explain to you guys. What makes something valuable to a group of people? I don't think, actually I know, it's not the intrinsic value of the thing, it's the perceived value. This is a plastic toy. It's made of ABS and PVC plastic. Why would somebody spend $120 on it? It's just plastic. Real value involves making things. It's tough, it's hard, it's a lot of work. In my opinion, and I hope some of you will agree, it's much easier for a designer, a smart designer, to play with perception instead of actually making something expensive is tiring, you know. That's really what it boils down to. I think if you guys are smart, you can do a lot, you can make a lot just with what people believe, and not really with how much something is worth or how much it weighs or what materials it's made out of. Those are important, but there's something we can do definitely in the perception department. Which brings me to my next point, which is a fetish. A fetish. You guys, I don't know if fetishes means the same thing in Spanish as it means in English. I hope so. So the dictionary defines a fetish as an inanimate object worshipped for its supposed magical powers. I looked online, objeto de affection. That's really what we're going for here. We know that there's a trend starting. There's a trend for ultra expensive collector's edition. These things are very expensive, and everybody knows that when you've got a real fetish, you're ready to do anything to satisfy your need. And game publishers are asking us to create something different and unique now. We can't just keep making these things bigger and heavier, and we've got to do something that's different. And that's the more and more requests, those are the requests we're getting. We're working on, at the moment, we're working on gaming collectible items that are not only beautiful, but they're also useful. It's more than just a decoration. They interact with the game when you play it. So keep your eyes open for 2015. It's going to be a really exciting year for video game collector editions. I mentioned earlier that we don't just do the design, we also do the manufacturing. And the reason we want to do that, because it's very expensive and it's very annoying, but the reason we want to do that is because we want to control the process. So our lead designer, his office is actually in the factory in Shenzhen, China. We own 3 factories in China, and that's where 80% of our figurines are manufactured. And Hug is a career sculptor. He owns the project. Him and the team of sculptors we have are artists with a lot of experience in movies, animation, games. Everybody's a fan of video games and a true fan of toys, really. We're not resellers. The entire budget of the project goes into the creation of the object. Most producers on the market these days do not have the same setup that we do. They're outsourcing to contractors who outsource to other contractors. And a lot of the process, it loses control and makes for a poorer result. Yeah. So number 6 is probably one of the most important things. It's the pose. The pose is very important. And the pose is all about lines. Lines, curves, shapes. When I say lines, for example, if you want to take the point of interest to be a face, like an angry face, you have to make sure the lines draw all the attention to that point. So, like this. So, all of the attention gets focused into the point that you're interested in. The curves, and the curves in all of the angles. This is really, the image I'm showing you guys is a competition between 2 characters. It's Wonder Woman and Batman fighting to the death. And you can see the curve between both characters. You've got one like this, and another like that, and they're against each other. And this really shows 2 people battling because of the shape of their curves being against each other. The second is, or the third is the shape. We've got a pyramid shape. This pyramid shape is more important than you would think. I don't know if you can, yeah, it looks like a pyramid on there. It really is a pyramid. The reason Wonder Woman is above Batman is a really smart one. If she was to be below him, the fact that Batman is physically bigger, has more muscles, he's more imposing, he looks more dangerous, his costume is more aggressive, we would have a feeling of domination. And for this reason, we put Wonder Woman above him to give her an advantage. So it's like anybody's game. Anybody could win the battle. It seems like an exciting moment. You're not sure who's going to win. It's a compelling it's a compelling pose, really. That's what it is. The way we give attitude is at the very early stage. It's drawing, it's sketching. Our animation background, a lot of our artists used to work in animation, in 2D animation like cartoons and so on. And this really helps them determine how are we going to give attitude to a fixed object, an object that's not moving. It's actually really important, and that's actually handled at the illustration phase. Something else we do is we study the character. What kind of character is he, or what kind of character is she? Are they aggressive? Are they mean? Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they depressed? What's their personality? So we do research and we learn about the character, and that really helps us determine what kind of attitude we can give them. Next is education. This is really what I've discovered to be, for the work that we do, the best types of education. Students that are schooled in illustration and design make the best designers for the kind of work we work on, and these kinds of projects. We have a lot of people that are from the Beaux-Arts. Beaux-Arts is the fine arts, and it's a classic background. So I want to give you a tip. I know it's tempting to do digital only sometimes, and a lot of great stuff comes out of digital only. But if you guys have a chance, try to go back to the roots and do painting, sculpting, anatomic sculptures, nude sculptures. Get there and go back to the classic stuff. It's really going to help you later on in your career. Making a great design is like most things in life. It's not a one-man show. It's really a team game. And Takeoff is about hiring groups of artists that are passionate in order to make figurines that really breathe life. And because we're so many passionate people working towards the same goal of making great figurines, we can do great things. So don't think that you can go off on your own and do something amazing. It happens, it's possible, but when a really fantastic project hits the market and it's a big success, it's usually because there's several people that are passionate and that are working towards the same common goal. So, Batarang. I couldn't bring it, it's too big. This is a project we completed last year for Batman. It's something that I find to be really special. The reason for that is, and I've got one more video to show you about this, it's not a figurine, and the people who get it for free. So they didn't spend a lot of money, but it's still perceived at a very high value. So the challenge with the press kit is that we have to create an item that journalists will get really excited about and talk about publicly. And at the same time they talk about the press kit, the idea is for them to talk about the game and the launch and all the great features and so on. It's really what we also call a buzz kit, is to create buzz around the product. So this is a product we created for Batman Arkham Origins, and the customer is Warner Brothers. And we're just going to show you a last video about the process of how we made it and so on.
For the release of Batman Arkham Origins, Warner Bros. Wanted to hit big. The goal was to design an original object that would be a highly desirable and a collectible item. Suggestions were made around a printed folder, inside of which there would be a video display, a printed booklet that was shaped as the Batarang, Batman's most powerful signature trademark. We merged both ideas, used Batman's most iconic feature, and insert a video display. The challenge was to execute the idea and design a prototype. We started off with elaborating a blueprint image and used it as a template to create a glaze mold. The next step was to add texture and coloring to make the object look more real. The masterpiece object would come in a deluxe box and bear a logo or an image. The product was ready. It was a bat-shaped weapon that featured a high-resolution screen with speakers and external USB port to download the gameplay trailers, artwork, and screenshots. It comes in a wooden box and black velvet for the interior. 1,000 copies were manufactured, each one of them bearing a serial number and a customized stand that spelled the name of the person who would receive the kit, and below, Citizen of Arkham. Takeoff Creative Services was also responsible for shipping the object in Europe, Japan, and Australia. The internet did not wait long for the buzz. We hit 1,000 VIP specialists and mainstream journalists, bloggers, TV presenters. Game specialist IGN was the first to share a video of the complete kit to over 3 million YouTube channel subscribers. The resultant brand content gets more than 15,000 positive reactions, over 120,000 views on the first week.
The last thing I want to leave you guys with is, it's just a quote that I found for a poet who I like, an American poet from the 60s. It's really something that is going to become more and more important because the way we design collectible items is changing, has changed, and will soon be changed again forever. My company, Takeoff, always strives to be ahead of the curve with regards to designing collectible items. The past year, I've been thinking about this quote all the time. What we need is more people that specialize in the impossible. Yeah, thank you.